Hello, I thought I would give you a little tour of my ribbon storage using the Tupperware containers. This one isn't Tupperware, but it's the plastic divided container, similar to the Tupperware Serve and Store, I think it's called. I just finished kind of tidying up this one. It's a constant battle to keep them tidy. But I use these divided dishes to separate things. I've got the lids on the bottom to store flat extra pieces. And then I've separated this one into white laces, and I've taken these, some of these that were on spools, and taken them off so that they all fit in here better. So I've got assorted white lace in this one. White lace, mostly crochet kind of lace, cotton. And this one is more with a gold tone to it. So this is actually gold lace, a little piece of gold trim, some lace that's a little more yellowy than these beigeur ones over here. And so I've got some of the cotton, like Dollar Tree lace, and then different pieces of vintage lace that I've cut up to use in snippets and on pages and on tags. And then this one is some black lace, which I don't use a lot of, but this is beautiful lace here, this black and silver and gold. And then just some little very tiny snippets of things. And then this one little piece that I got in a swap today of a mint green. And then this little section, I've got some pearls that also came from the swap, and some just random little bits of string left over from book binding, and that I can use in clusters and maybe for tag toppers or tiny little notebooks. And then some of these were bracelets that I've torn apart, and I may use the charms separate and use the faux suede in clusters and stuff. So those are in there. That's that one. And then, like I said, underneath there's some flat stuff as backup. And then this one, I don't think this one's Tupperware either, but I just got it because of the color, and it's in its lid, sitting in its lid. So in the bottom here, I've got some flat things. Actually, I might put this down there. That one might be too fat. I'm trying to take them all off of these gradually as I have time and put them on flat cards for storage, because these just take up so much room. I know they keep it tidy, but so this one I have some burlap trim and some torn fabric strips in some lime green. There's a gold that could go in here, gold ribbons. So gold, brown, gingham, and leopard in the center. And then I've got some, this could maybe even go over with the laces. This is like a lace ribbon. Yeah, I'm going to put that over in this bin, in this section. And then in this section here, I have some pink fringe, which I think I got in a haul or a swap. And then this is from my Dreamcatcher days, which I am going to be doing more of. But this is like that yarn that it's like a mesh yarn. So this is great for adding to tags and pages. And I have more of this upstairs in my ribbon stash, but I just wanted to have some down here in my bin to remind me about it, that I don't forget that I have it. Same thing with this. This is a variegated blue one with some glitter in it. And this is a craft that my mom showed me how to do years ago. I don't even know if I remember how to do it. Where you take this ribbon with the little nubs on the end. I guess you could do it with any ribbon, but this is what we tended to use, was a satin ribbon. And you wind it some way, like almost like a braiding. And we did so much of this back in the day. And this is the last two pieces I think I have of it. So this is from like over 30 years ago, close to 40 years ago that we did this. And this would make a great page edge or something. So I've got a purple and a mint green of that. And then this section has torn up strips of a chenille. It wasn't a full bedspread, but just a piece of chenille that I had bought at a sale or something. So this will make tag toppers or page edges or just good collage fodder. And it was a two-tone, so it has some dark pink and some light pink. And then I even saved just the little strip from the hem. It's kind of got one frayed edge. So I try to keep those wrapped up so they're not so unruly. And then this little section has some pieces of ribbon, mostly small pieces of ribbon that aren't really spoolable. And then this one that I got in a swap today, maybe I'll put it in the middle because it's a larger piece. And I would like to have them all on cards someday. Might be a porch project. And then this is just little strips of off-white fabric that I've ripped. And then I've rolled them up into little pieces to use for tag toppers and collage. So some of them this one has a bit of a texture to it. Some of them are just very plain. Been searching the dollar racks at the thrift store for fabrics that I can use to make interesting textured strips. And I love the frayed edges. So that's what that whole section is. And then this section is some black. Same thing. I got a black top blouse and ripped it up into strips and sections. And some of it is got a design in it, like a little diamond design, and some of it's plain. So I can cut off little snippets of this. And then these little pieces here was another blouse that I tore up into strips. So it's black and cream stripes, which I can see using with the gingham. And there's another piece of string that goes over here. It's a constant sorting battle. So that's those two. And then the one that still has to be done is my little fabric one. And again, I've got bits and pieces underneath of larger pieces. These are some of most of this is the upholstery fabric samples. So this is some that I'd already made into cards and I just didn't know where else to put them. So I threw them underneath here. There's a Grandma's Flower Garden hexie that my mom sewed together in her last year when she was in the hospital. She took this as a project to do. So it's all sewn by hand. I thought that might make its way on the front of a journal someday. And just some other larger pieces that I've gotten in swaps. Nice vintage fabric. And those are just the parts of the fabric samples that have the backing on them. They make good pockets. So I've got that in underneath. And then on top here, I don't quite know how I'm going to do this, but I've got this tape that I bought at an estate sale that I thought I could do some stamping on because it's just the white first aid tape, water resistant adhesive tape, and some gauze. So again, that's a great thing for clusters. So I think I want those in the middle here, maybe with other creamy or gauzy things. So these are all the samples from the upholstery fabric, little bits and pieces from where I've been cutting and using. And there's some more hexies, grays and browns. She probably had those just for flower centers. And I don't know how much we're going to get this organized, but I kind of had tried to have it. There's some more interesting like drywall tape or something. It's sticky on one side. That can go in the middle there. And I thought I had tried to have this sort of as grays, beiges, pinks. So I'm going to just leave that one for kind of specialty stuff. And this one seems to have mostly grays in it. So we'll start there. There's a cream. And add more grays in there. And sometimes the smallest piece that has a lot of texture, that'll make a great piece in a cluster. And then here's some greens and some blacks and some pinks. So just trying to figure out how I want this organized. Pinks and purples could go together. And there's some more of that. That could go over in that other bin. try to keep these kind of on the back of my desk beyond the camera usually, so that if I need something when I'm doing a video, it's all kind of at hand. But I want to get a little shelf built that these can all stack up in my craft room and not take up so much space, because that is always a problem. There's some like, it looks like cross-stitch fabric, very stiff, but that can go in the center with sort of the specialty stuff. And then I should have a blue section. This will be beiges, I think. So in here I have some little bits of cotton that I think came from a swap, and I stamped some dragonflies on them. So this could be beiges. And then I'm starting a pink pile. So there's some more beiges. This isn't as good for fabric as it is for ribbon and laces, but these are smallish pieces. And like I say, overstock can go underneath, but I like to have a little bit of a sampler out here so it's quick to grab. And there's some more green. I could put yellow in with green. I don't do a lot of either one of those. And then, like I said, I think I'll put these over in that other bin. Although it wouldn't hurt to have a couple pieces over here. These ones are all short pieces. I think that's why they're over here. So this appears to be all pinks. So I won't bother taking them all out. I'll just add to it more pinks. Put those back in. And I don't think I'm going to end up with a dedicated purple, though I probably should. I've been using up this one fabric sample little bits at a time. I love that color. Sort of a carnation pink. And this is more beiges. So maybe I got too many beiges. Put this green over with the other greens. And this is almost a yellowy beige. There's more greens. I am not much for green, but I do find that when you're doing florals, you always need a green accent, or a green accent works well with florals, I should say. Needed, but it works well. So I'll take these greens out of the blues and give it its own spot. And then just trying to keep yourself sorted out is sort of a constant battle. But I don't mind sorting. It kind of is soothing to me to have things back in order every once in a while. So I could go light beige, dark beige kind of thing. But it's okay. And then there's some with a bit of a pattern. So that could almost go, I would almost put that with the blues. The blues haven't been messed up too much. Maybe, yeah, I might have to separate my beiges into light and dark, and then my grays. And I don't use gray as much, but I think I'm going to try to focus on doing some gray with pretty accent colors, of course. I think I'm going to put this bigger one underneath. And then these blues can go in here. These browns can go. Let's see, there's some more pink purple. Those can be sticking out so I see them. There's more of that cross-stitch fabric. I just love the ticking stripe and the gingham, and I love using them together. I just love that. There's a beige with like a cream with taupe and gray on it. I think I'll put that with the grays. And the green. So it doesn't take long, but you just sometimes don't do it because you're busy and you just want to create. But it does make it easier to find things when you're crafting, and you tend to use the things more and you can find them easy. So I like to do it every once in a while. So I thought I'd just show you that. It's not rocket science, but it's interesting to always to see how other people sort their stuff, I think. Gives you ideas. So maybe the other thing that I'll do is keep these beiges separated so that they're easier to distinguish. So this I'll put in a light category, and this might go in the darker category by the time I'm done. So just a little quick sort on this beige bin and get it more to the darker items. There's some very small strips, but I will probably use those. I might put that with the yellow for a bit. See if it gets used when it's over there. I got leopard print in here from the little journals that I made, just offcuts. I think that's pretty good. That's more gray. And that's more light. Just to make sure that I'm seeing, and also when you reorganize, you see things you kind of forgot you had, which is always good. To remember that you had it and maybe use it. And that's kind of borderline. But yeah, I think this sort of tan color goes better in the darker bin. And it's, you know, it's not going to stay like that forever, but it's just reorganized for the moment, and maybe it'll prompt me to use something that I forgot I had in the bottom of the bin. It's pink's in the wrong bin. Another piece of pink. Just a little micro sort. There. So, tell me in the comments, how do you sort your scraps and lace and ribbon? It's something that I think a lot of us struggle with, so anybody's ideas would be great to hear, and sharing ideas is what these Facebook groups are all about and what YouTube's all about. So I hope you enjoyed this little sorting session, and thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share. Have a nice day.